Hey guys, this is Justin Vlogs and welcome back once again after a really long time. I know I haven't been making videos for more than 8, 9, 11, maybe a year, more than 1 year time. I know, I'm really sorry about it. The thing is that I'm just basically lazy and I need to be consistent. I'm sorry about it. I hope I become consistent and let's just dive right into the video. So guys, as we are about to start today's video, I just want to announce that this video is going to contain a lot of spoilers for the movie Spider-Man No Way Home, as you can read in the title. So if you haven't watched the movie, or if you do want to watch the movie, don't watch this. I appreciate you clicking onto the video, but don't watch this. Thank you. So the movie starts off very intense and soon becomes disintegrated into a funnier vibe. And by the way, the whole world knows who Spider-Man is. And right after 5 minutes and 8 seconds, we see the iconic Jonah Jameson. You know who he is from Spider-Man. From all of the Spider-Man movies we've seen him, he's a really iconic character. Even though if we hate him, we know he's an iconic person. Later on in the movie, Spider-Man and his friends and Aunt May gets questioned by the police because Spider-Man was a suspect for the murder of Mysterio. And then the next day, Spider-Man and Aunt May moves on to Happy's place and they just settle down and they're fine for the day. And later on, the next day, Spider-Man, MJ and Ned goes to school. And it was pretty hectic for Spider-Man and his friends. But to be honest, if you do remember Flash, he had a wonderful day. And then during the break time in school, Spider-Man, MJ are just chilling in the roof, just talking about how life used to be easier when they did not know who Spider-Man was. And if you understand what I mean by chilling, you should understand. And Ned shows up out of nowhere, and while they were just talking with each other in the rooftop, Ned just talked about the college, like what they need to apply for the future. And Spider-Man, MJ and Ned's wish was for all of them to join into MIT. Later on, they started applying for the colleges, and they applied for 3 colleges together, and all 3 of them, from which one of them was MIT, did not accept them into the college. And everybody was sad and the movie just kept going. Spider-Man, being Spider-Man, went to meet Doctor Strange. For what? To get MJ and Ned into college. So Doctor Strange did a little help, and by a little help, I mean a spell. A spell that would make the whole world forget who Spider-Man was. And Doctor Strange gets on doing the spell, and again, our character is Spider-Man. So he's just a teenage kid, and being a teenager like us, he kept distracting Doctor Strange by asking requests in between doing or performing the spell. And Spider-Man kept asking request after request. For example, like, can you make Aunt May know, only her know that I'm Spider-Man? Then Doctor Strange's like, okay, sure. Then he, after performing the next spell, Spider-Man is like, wait, make Zendaya. Then wait, make Ned, like that. It was kind of annoying for Doctor Strange, and we can understand that, why he would get annoyed. And at the end, the spell got messed up, and the spell didn't work. And then Doctor Strange got a bit pissed off, and he started asking Spider-Man, why do I have to do these small type stuff for you? Can't you just make up for your own mistakes? And by the way, Spider-Man didn't even call the college to just ask them for a reconsideration for the application for Ned, Zendaya, and Spider-Man, of course. So when Doctor Strange got to know this, he got pretty mad, and he just kicked Spider-Man out of his home. I mean, he deserved it, come on. Later, then Spider-Man tries to contact MIT, and he couldn't, so he called his friend, his best friend by the way, Flash. And if you know Flash, you know how he is. So he called Flash and he tried to make compromise by telling, could you talk with the MIT executive? And he's like, he can't, but he can give the number or the location or where she could be right now. And Spider-Man is like, yeah, sure. But he said it's not free. He has to do everything for a price. And Flash being Flash, he literally asked Spider-Man to acknowledge Flash as his best friend. Okay, to get into MIT, yeah, that's a good choice, I would say. Later, Spider-Man goes on to the airport where the MIT executive is, and he saw her and talked with her. But she said she couldn't give an opportunity for him because of the recent controversies, and that's when our beautiful, iconic character, Dr. Octavius, shows up. And when Dr. Octavius saw Spider-Man in a spider suit, yup, he lost his mind. Then he started attacking Spider-Man, and they kept having fights. And at the end, Spider-Man's suit was absorbed by the mechanical hands which Mr. Octavius has, and it was made of nanotechnology. So Spider-Man still has control over those materials which his suit was made of, and he controlled Dr. Octavius' hands, and it's pretty cool, to be honest, And since Spider-Man got control over his hands, he saved the MIT executive who was about to die. And right after he saved, he went up to her and asking, "Are you fine, ma'am?" And she's like, "I'm going to go talk with the other MIT executives, and I'm going to talk about you and your friends especially." He's like, "Oh, thank you." And that's when it's so funny, and it's also cool that I cannot keep my composure over this, but it's really fun. And yeah, by the way, and that's when the next villain shows up, and it's one of our favorite villains in the whole Spider-Man series, and it is Green Goblin. And as soon as Green Goblin shows up, Spider-Man is now in Doctor Strange's house. And if you're wondering how, remember, Doctor Strange is a wizard, a magician. He can just literally teleport with his teleportation rings, So he teleported Spider-Man into his home. And there was also Dr. Octavius at the time. He was in a cage at that time. And speaking of cage, there was also Dr. Connors over there in a separate cage. And yep, that's the first time we're seeing Dr. Connors too. And later on, Doctor Strange tells Spider-Man the situation and what's happening. And what happened was literally he messed up the spell. And people who know Peter Parker or Spider-Man is in their universe, and actually they're from different universes. So yeah, so Doctor Strange gave a magic item to Spider-Man, and it's basically, if you shoot at a person, he gets teleported to Doctor Strange's house in a chamber, in a specific chamber, so they cannot get out, and they're kept there safe. And Doctor Strange told to clean up his mess. And Spider-Man's like, "Yeah, sure, but I need help." So he brought Ned and MJ for their help, and Doctor Strange said this.
Get on your phones, scour the internet, and Scooby-Doo this.
And then he said this.
Please, Scooby-Doo this crap.
Later on, MJ, Ned, and Spider-Man worked right away, and they went to find other people from other universes, and Spider-Man walked up to Electron, and he shot the magic thing, I would say, because I don't know how to call it. So he shot the magic thing and went through Electro's body, and it hit a tree. So the tree got teleported to Doctor Strange's base. And the fight kept going, and Spider-Man was also saved by Sandman. Yes, I said it correctly, the Sandman. Later on, Spider-Man catches Electron, and Spider-Man and Sandman walk back to Doctor Strange's chamber. And Sandman sees the chamber and he gets a bit confused. He's like, "Why are you capturing these people? Did you kill him?" And Spider-Man got a bit nervous, and he shot the same magic thing at Sandman, and now he's in one of the chambers. And later on, Spider-Man calls MJ, and Ned asks if there's Sandman and Electro over there, and they said, "Yeah, it's there." And then Ned, he has a very suspicious because there's one more person over there. I wouldn't say person, there's one more thing over there. And he asked, "Is this giant tree a monster too?" Bro, that literally got me in tears. Bro, Ned is a legend. Shout out to Ned. Perfect. He's a perfect character for the Spider-Man, and I'm so glad he's the best friend of Spider-Man. He's really funny throughout the whole movie. Perfect for him. It's like, during intense time, it's like if he's there, it's perfect because he can calm down the vibe. It's pretty cool. And shout out to Ned. Later on the next day, Aunt May calls Spider-Man saying there's a person at her work area. So Spider-Man goes there rushing, telling that he knows the person. So he ran straight away to that person, and yep, it was Green Goblin sitting right next to Aunt May. And hopefully nothing is wrong. He was still at his old self, which I mean, I wouldn't say old self, let's say good self. So it's a bit more understandable. So he was there, and Aunt May told he seemed so suspicious, and Spider-Man's telling, yeah, I know. And then later, Spider-Man tells Green Goblin that he can take him to a safe place, and he follows Spider-Man, and then he takes him to the chamber. He's not yet in the chamber, I mean the area. So when Doctor Strange saw this, he put Goblin right into the chamber. He's telling he could be a threat, so he doesn't want to take any risk by him having outside. And also at that time, Doctor Strange brought a box, like a magic box, which could return all these people back to the universes. And as we know, Dr. Octavius is dead. We know Green Goblin is dead, and most of the villains are dead. So if he presses the button, they go back to their universe and they are dead over there, so they won't be alive at that time. Spider-Man did not like that idea, and he stole the box from Doctor Strange. And yep, this was an epic and a bit intense because it wasn't that great of an idea which Spider-Man had, but it was pretty nice. We could see the fight between Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. It was pretty cool. So let's talk about that in detail. So everyone had a doubt who would win in a Spider-Man versus Doctor Strange. So let's just talk about this particular fight that happened in the movie. So Spider-Man steals the box out of the house, and he starts running away to just throw it or break it or do whatever with the box. I don't know. So Doctor Strange, who has teleportation magic, just teleported right in front of Spider-Man, and he made fun of Spider-Man, to be honest. He put Spider-Man in the mirror dimension. He removed Spider-Man himself from his physical body. It was pretty fun. But to be honest, Spider-Man, who has sixth sense, Spider-Man can defeat Doctor Strange. So even though if it was a mirror dimension, Spider-Man wasn't faced by the obstacles put forward by Doctor Strange, because it just feels like things coming towards him. He does not think too much about gravity and stuff. But there was a scene Spider-Man using mathematics during fight. Oh my god, I have to say this. I literally questioned my life all this time. In Instagram, YouTube, everything we've seen, mathematics has no role in life. Bro, after seeing Spider-Man using mathematics, yeah, I felt like my whole life was a lie. And Spider-Man, using his sixth sense, he could defeat Doctor Strange and steal the cabinet. I mean, not cabinet, I'm sorry, I meant the magic box from Doctor Strange. And he escaped. Later on, Spider-Man wanted to help these people, so he called them all to his home, which I felt was a pretty bad idea because they all are villains, and of course that's a stupid idea. So he brought them all to his house, and he started helping in a sense, like most of the villains, they're based on technologies. They depend on the technology to fight for the will. So Spider-Man found flaws in Dr. Octavius, and that's flaws was fixed by Spider-Man himself, and Dr. Octavius got his true self back, and it was pretty nostalgic to see because he was a really charming dude, and now it's really nice to see him back to his normal self. And yep, I forgot to mention, while Spider-Man defeated Doctor Strange, he also accidentally stole Doctor Strange's ring. So it was in his hand, Spider-Man. So he just told Ned to keep it safe, and he gave it to Ned. That's it. But they all are at Spider-Man's house, and now Spider-Man gets on work to rescue everyone from their machines, or save them from their misery, or I would say save them from their evil self. So Spider-Man uses his machine, which is at his house, which actually belongs to Tony Stark, and it's really nice to see. It reminded us all of Tony Stark, a legend, a true legend. And then Spider-Man makes a certain device that makes Dr. Octavius back under his own control and not under the control of the machine. The reason why Octavius was evil, we all know, because the machine was under control of his body. So Spider-Man fixed it, and now Dr. Octavius is back on control. Later, he helps Spider-Man in order to continue the remaining research so he could help the other people as well. Later on, as the movie goes on, we can see Spider-Man helping out Electro too also. So Electro feels a bit, a bit uncomfortable because he's not used to not having a good amount of electricity. So that's one thing. And also, Spider-Man felt something very weird. He felt something very weird, a unique feeling he never had. It's like he knew danger was about to come, and good thing he did because it was Green Goblin. His darker self has emerged in that crucial time, and guess what happened? Whoa, wait a minute. Before we continue, I just have to say that this video has already been more than 10 minutes, and it's going to be really boring if I just keep speaking right now. So I believe what's best, I'm going to release a part 2 soon, maybe after a few days or later on, and we'll continue. And after that, I'm going to make one more video, and that I'm going to be talking about the conclusion of how I felt the movie was, and then I'm going to talk about the post-credit scene and also my predictions on the movie as a third video. This is the first part. After a few days, I'm going to release the second part, and after a few more days, after releasing the second part of this Spider-Man No Way Home series, I'm going to post the conclusion, prediction, and my overall view on this movie. So thank you guys, stay safe, and peace out.